What's up, everybody? We're going to be doing GQ's Discussions. It's the first podcast. I got two special guests. I got Rome and I got Dean. We're going to be talking about Army, transitioning out, entrepreneurship, and what it is to live an everyday civilian life versus the military life. So, what's up, Rome? And what's up, Dean?
How's it going? Thank you for having us.
Hell yeah. Rome, I'm going to start with you first. What do you feel like? How was it whenever you transitioned out of the military back into civilian life?
So for me, it was actually really hard. Um, uh, I actually got out twice. I went in, did 4.5 years. I got out for 12 months. I went to school, and I just couldn't get used to having nothing to do. So when I finished school, I went right back into the Army. But this time I did a little bit different. The first time I didn't really have a choice as far as my MOS to pick. But the second time I got a little bit smarter, and I did. So the exact same thing that I went to school for, I went back into Army to do. It was just more so, I don't think that I was ready to get out, but I wanted to get out. So that's why I got back in. And the second time, whenever I got out, man, I tell you what, it was even harder because I didn't know what to go to school for this time. I didn't know what to do. I had no job. I was just kind of like, I had 60 days of leave. I like, you know what? Let me plan this thing out and see what I could do from there. But from the most part, I've been out 2 years now, and I love life.
Damn, man, I love it. And for the people who don't know, Rome actually owns Top Tier's barber shop on 410 in Bandera. Wasn't you ranked number two, three
Yeah,
in San Antonio?
we came in second place in the barbershop competition, and it is our first year in business. So somebody else kind of beat us, but they've been in business a lot longer, and they also have multiple shops. So it's not necessarily the fact that we don't know what we're doing, but it's just the fact that we're kind of new, so we're just getting used to it. Now that we have been in business a little bit longer, we have clients that go in there that just love the place and won't go anywhere else. So I know if we had to do that again for this coming up year, we'll take first for sure.
Bro, did you feel like you were an entrepreneur or did you have that entrepreneur mindset whenever you were in the military?
No, not at all. I'm a soldier. I took orders, and from there I passed them down, and if I had to lead, I did.
I love it. Dean. So Dean's actually still here on active duty, right? So Dean's on leave. He's here for 30 days. He just came from Germany. Dean, do you feel like whenever you get out, do you have a plan?
Yeah, I mean, me and my brother right now, well, I didn't want to start it until I got out of the military, just 'cause I felt like it was going to be too many things going on at once. I didn't want to distract myself between having a passion of leading soldiers, training, and doing some of the high speed stuff that I'm looking to do. But right now, my brother got me into doing some real estate with him. I'm gonna try to use my VA to do a couple things in the future. But yeah, I mean, I'm just gonna try to stick with my bro. He's doing carrying most of the load, doing some cold calling, wholesaling stuff. But right now, I'm just trying to be a good support for him.
I love it, bro. I love it. Rome, I know you said you didn't have that entrepreneur mindset whenever you were in the military. Whenever you got out, what made you want to be a barber, but not only just be a barber, to actually open up a barber shop and own your own business?
Man, I tell you what, it's nothing less than a blessing, and I say that because it was God's plan. I never cut hair before in my life, never picked up a clipper. I always went to somebody to do it.
Yeah.
But what really got me into barbering, and I kid you not, man, my brother's been a barber for 16 years, so he's been cutting hair for a long time. At that point in time, whenever I was out and I was transitioning on my leave, I did run out of funds. I wasn't able to pay my electricity bill, so I asked my brother for some money, and sure enough, not only did he give me it, but he also gave me an option to provide even more for myself. He put that idea in my head to, you know what, become a barber. This is not a regular job. You can do what you want when you want, make however much you want to make. Whatever you think that you can do more. So pretty much just kind of put what he said into mind, and I just took off from there. I went to barber school. I got literally maybe a month after I got out, I didn't learn how to cut hair in there. I tell you that much. Everything is everything.
You never do, bro. Not in barber college. No.
Everything was it was difficult. It was hard. I messed some people up. I had a lot of complaints in the beginning, but now we're to the point to where once you do it for so long, it just becomes like a how do I say, like a habit, right? Like you know what to do, you know how to do it. You've already cut this type of hair, that type of hair, this type of cut, that type of cut. So honestly, it's been a true blessing to have somebody like my brother to influence me to do this. And I wouldn't be an owner without him, and vice versa. We definitely worked together to build what we have, and it was more so his plan, right? It was what he had in mind, and I just, you know what, like, let's do it, right? I was so nervous because I didn't know what I was doing, but he did, and I kind of like let him be the backbone to all this. I was like, if you tell me how to do it, I'll do it. We'll get it done, and we can't fail. So that's why I said it's a blessing, because right now business is very good.
That's good, bro. That's good. I love that. So he kind of influenced you to be a barber. Do you actually like being a barber now that you are a barber?
I love it. If you would ask me if I could do anything else in this world, I would say no. I would say I would be a barber. Although I wish I kind of would have picked it up a little bit sooner to kind of kickstart my career, but you know, everybody has the path that they got to take. Maybe if I would have started sooner, I wouldn't be where I'm at right now, because the military plays a big role in what I have and how I have it. Especially just being able to have my VA back me for whatever it is that I need. That's one of the things that was a blessing too, because they did pay for my barber school. Most barbers, they go to school and they pay for it themselves. Yeah. They still work their hours, or they work longer hours. Me, I didn't have to. I had my school paid for, and I was able to just do from there and learn.
I love that, man. I'll tell you what, when I started cutting hair, it was I never even thought I'd ever cut hair, but I've always had that hustle mindset since I was in high school. Right. And he went to high school with me to know that I was always working, whether it was construction. It was mostly all the time, it was always construction. So when I was over there in Africa, I was like, you know what, I'm not making shit. I think we were making like $4,000 a month, which was okay. It wasn't bad. But I was like, how can I make more? I always asked the question, no matter what I did, where I went, I was like, how do I make more money? Someone goes, hey, bro, we need a haircut. These PX haircuts ain't cutting it. And I was like, I was the only dude for some reason, bro, to have a pair of clippers. I can't even tell you why I had a pair of clippers. I had the clippers, all the guards, I had the trimmers. I was like, you know what? It can't be that fucking hard. Got on YouTube, watched a bunch of YouTube videos, and then I cut someone's hair, and I was like, see, it wasn't that bad. I mean, I fucked him up. But,
yeah.
I mean, that's everybody's first haircut. You did a good first haircut. I mean, fuck, congrats to you. You must have been practicing on something that we don't know about.
For real.
But, dude, for giving him that fucked up haircut, he gave me $5. Now, $5 ain't a lot of money. But I was like, you know what, that's cool, because I made $5.
Yeah,
that's the way I looked at it. Like, I made $5. Imagine what I could make if I did a better job, because that was a shitty haircut. So then I noticed that no one else was a barber. There's always normally a barracks barber, right, in the Army.
Right.
Like, you always have one dude that can cut up pretty well. Dude, that night after I made that $5, bro, like, made me just think, like, I can do way better. Watched YouTube videos all fucking night and just had at it. Every chance someone needed a haircut, I was like, yo, I'll cut your hair $5. Eventually, a couple months go by, I'm like, you know what, I'll do it for 10. Like, not these haircuts at 10. Went to barber college. When I came home, I was like, I'm gonna go to barber college. Decided to do barber college. Went to Alamo. I didn't learn nothing, because actually by the time I already went to barber college, I was pretty cold at cutting hair, because I had cut maybe like over 150, 200 heads. Practice comes with it. And then I realized, I was like, you know what? I don't think I can be a barber, which is kind of ironic, because I think I did barbering. I started it for the money, but I actually ended up loving it as a passion. But then I realized, I was like, you know what? Maybe this isn't the path that I need to take. I carry a barber, to me, like, to heart till the day I die. I'll always be a barber. I always cut my son's hair. I still got a couple clients, and I even got it tatted on the chest just because I loved it that much. Now I do full-time construction just because there's a money gap difference. And back then, when I got my license, I didn't know how to scale. I didn't know marketing. I didn't know you can run ads on Instagram, Facebook, kind of like throw your name out there. I didn't know posting good ass videos and having good content makes fucking people want to come to you.
Oh, for sure.
And also new to content creation. Also new to like basically all social media, because I was just that type of dude to get on Facebook, post like, hey, you know, at the beach with my family this weekend or whatever. Now I'm like on a whole different scale, and I went into content creation with construction, and it's like, wow, if I would have started doing this as a barber, my clientele would have built like this. But I didn't give it enough time. I was so scared when I graduated. I never even went to a shop. I was like, I'm gonna do it by myself. Had a studio, did it for a little bit. Really wasn't really panning out too well, and I was like, yeah, that's enough for me. But I'll tell you what, bro, being a barber was fun. It was fun because you could actually have some genuine, good conversations with some people, but then you also have some shitty people. It's like,
oh, yeah.
Bro, what are you talking about?
Yeah, that for sure.
What the fuck are you talking about? They be asking you some questions. It's like, bro, I know like barbering is like when you get your haircut, it's like a form of therapy. Kind of like when you get tattoos, it's a form of therapy for men, at least, right? There'll be times where I'm like, bro, you're asking me too deep of a question for me to know. I'm not your therapist, but I'm here to chop it up with you, just not like that. But what about you? You got any clients that are like, what the fuck are you talking about? Half the time.
I actually do, and man, sometimes it's like, yo, like, didn't we just had this conversation, right?
It's the same conversation, right?
Over and over and over.
Like,
Yes, it never changes. It's always the same thing. But my older clients, like when I say older, I mean like in their probably like late 40s, early 50s. Those are the ones that I had the wildest conversations with, right? Like they just don't care, right? They've already lived life, they've been through it, and they hit me with these curveballs sometimes. I'm like, all right, like, oh, for real, that happened, or you did that? I'm shocked, right? Because
I kind of love those conversations more versus the same dude that's talking about the same shit.
Yeah, for sure. So, I mean, but it's what I do it for, right? So the reason why I love barbering is because it's become a hobby to me. It's yes, it's a job. Yes, I get paid for it, but it's something that I love to do. I work 6 days a week. If I could, I would work 7, but
it don't feel like work, right?
No, it doesn't. I could be there literally on a Friday from 10 to 10. I think the latest I've ever been at the barbershop was to like 1:30. And I asked him, like, yo, like, why you coming so late, right? But his thing was like, oh, well, I want to go to the after hour spot and not the actual club. I know what you're doing. Like, you're up to no good.
You pulled up with a bottle.
Yeah, but I had some randoms come, and I'm like, okay, like I don't want to talk to you. And then I had some people that come that like I just kicked it off like if I knew him forever.
Yeah.
So it's definitely something that the conversation is sometimes part of your compensation, right?
Yeah.
So one of the things that I've done, and I've only been cutting hair for going on 2 years. So been like a year and a half. So it's my first time. Last year was Veterans Day. I did a service for all veterans for $1.
I remember that. Right. And I've told a bunch of people about it, but I didn't pull up.
Right. So the reason why I did that, and I only blocked my schedule off for service members only. It could be prior, it can be current. It didn't matter, but I did it for $1.
Just veteran related.
Because people don't know what we go through, right? Like unless you've been through it. So my part of the thing was reaching out to them and seeing that they're okay, right? So that's why I said the conversation is my compensation. It was blessed enough that actually somebody picked up every single one of my customers' tabs. So even though it's $1, it's a thought that counts. Yeah. So I think I made like $13 that day, and I was okay with it. Right, and they
Because
asked.
on a normal day, that's not even.
Oh
That's not
no,
even half of
no!
one
I
haircut.
wouldn't even show up to work for $13, bro. I wouldn't even turn my clippers on for $13. But,
Nah,
but don't
not
get
the
me
gas
wrong.
that your truck gonna take.
Yeah. Don't get me wrong. This is a blessing to me, so I do things that a lot of people won't. Right. There's a high population of homeless people in San Antonio.
Which honestly, I think the percentage on that, well, like veteran related homeless was like what 30%.
It's up there. It's definitely up there.
It might not even be. It might be more than 30. I just can't remember from the last time I looked into that. But I remember seeing a statistic where it was like maybe almost half the population that's homeless is veterans,
Right.
which is crazy to me because I'm like, you should be the one that's most taken care of.
For sure. So, I like to get back. Every now and then, they'll pass by my shop and like, yo, like, you could use a haircut. Of course, they think that they're gonna pay. I'm like, yo, like, I got you covered. Don't worry about it. But it's just to kind of give them a boost in self-esteem, right? You're already at your lowest. Why make somebody even lower than that? If I can cut your hair on a regular day and you come in on a Friday and you walk out, oh man, I look good, I feel good. Imagine what that can do for somebody that hasn't had a haircut or can't afford a haircut. Because at the end of the day, haircuts are luxurious, right?
Yeah, and they are expensive.
Yeah.
At least in the modern day.
Yeah.
I remember when I was in school, bro, you used to get a haircut for 10, 12 bucks. And now it's like, nah. You paying 30 for just the cut, no beard, no eyebrows.
Nothing.
And you can probably find someone cheaper, but good luck.
Hey,
Yeah.
that's amazing. I mean, you was talking about conversation meaning compensation, and it goes back to the old adage: if you love what you do, you don't got to work a day in your life. And I think being a barber is highly underappreciated. Just because I know I've had a couple experiences, like being at a BX barbershop, and it's this old Korean lady. It seems like they just pick them up off of the street, like, hey, come get in
Somewhere,
here,
right.
grab a pair of clippers.
We'll give you the clippers.
Right. And I told this lady one time, I was like, hey, just take a little bit off the top, and she buzzed my whole shit off.
Oh.
I go to pay, she's like, tip. I was like, no tip. Wait, what you talking about? You fucked my whole shit up. But I think it's an art form, cutting people's hair, and I'm sure that there's got to be some type of passion, because just like any other artist with their work, you got to feel good about what it is that you're putting out there, and especially for people, because that's a 2-week cut for some, right? Or it might just last for a week, and they going out to the club hollering at a girl, and your whole world and their success is kind of in your hands at that moment, and you got to be passionate about what you're doing in order.
Sure.
Hey,
to
you
give
ever
them
hear
the
that
best.
saying? It's your barber, he can either get you pussy or he can get you laughed at for 2 weeks.
Right.
It just depends on what cut he gives you.
Yeah.
And I tell you what, bro, the barbers who do it for the money never last in the game.
Yeah.
Because there's no passion behind it. Like, I remember when I started cutting hair, I did it for the money. Instantly did it for the money. But then after a while, bro, like, I've always took real pride in how I dress, how I cut my hair, how I look, because like I've always liked to look good since I've been a very little kid. And bro, not even 2-3 months, I was like, dude, I love making other people look good. And the feeling that they get whenever they get a haircut, you just walk off with like a smile, because you know you just made someone look fucking good as fuck, and now they're happy about it. Like, so you gave someone a genuine service that they had no problem paying whatever it is that you charged. And so when I first started, I started with the wrong intention. And then, you know, as I started doing it, I was like, bro, I actually love it more as a passion than I do anything for the money. Now, like I said, the money kind of came with it. But this was like, you know, when I was in the Army, like, even people would like, I've seen dudes cry for getting a shitty haircut. I've never cried over it.
I have.
I've always
I
wanted
kid
to
you
sock
not.
somebody in the face for this.
You know, you see people pissed off when they leave the barbershop,
Yeah.
or they leave the PX, especially the PX, because the haircut's shit.
Yeah.
Right? So whenever you actually see someone genuinely happy, like looking in the mirror, you hand them the mirror and they're just like, dude, finally, yes. That's whenever I fell in love with it. And I was like, you know what? That was a better feeling than getting the $5 to $10.
Oh, for
You know?
sure.
And then
Sure.
I kind of just fell in love with it at that point. And then that's why, like, I still have clients. And I say I have clients. I might even have like 5 to 6, which is literally nothing for a barber that's full time. So for me, it's like I keep those clients because I just love cutting their hair because I know that they feeling that they get a full service from me. They absolutely love it. And even when I want to fire some of the clients, I'll raise the prices just because like I can't take on even 5 sounds like it's a little number. I'm so busy. Sometimes I don't even get time to just cut their hair because I stay super busy in construction. And I'm like, I got to raise the price because, bro, like, at a point, it was starting to cost me. But there's always 2 clients I'm going to keep forever. And that's not including my son and one of my workers because he works for me and he needs a haircut.
Oh, for sure, right, for sure.
Which is kind of ironic, though. But one thing I wanted to kind of get into was a lot of civilians don't know what Army soldiers go through. So the cool thing about this is that I have 3 veterans here. Me, you, Dean, right?
Well, I'm active.
But active. But eventually you'll be a vet.
Yeah.
So, but you still know what it is.
Service member.
You still a service
Yeah,
member now.
yeah.
But the cool thing is we're all in the Army. All different MOSs. I was 11 Bravo Infantry.
68 Sierra is preventive med.
So I have 2. So my first one is a 13 Papa, which is a multi-launch rocket fire and directional specialist. It just means I just shot big rockets and missiles and I just blew shit up.
That's still cool.
That's all it means. That's all.
Yeah,
Like it don't mean nothing.
Hey, it's
What the
cool
hell?
on video. It's cool when it's happening, but it's not cool. It's not cool while you're in the process before you shoot.
Oh,
man.
yeah, I
So,
imagine.
and then my second one is a 68 Echo, which is a dental tech.
Okay.
So that was the one that I reclassed to whenever I went to school. I got out. I was like, man, why be in the field when I can be inside?
Yeah.
You know, it's hot out there all the time. It's cold out there all the time. I'm inside. I'm chilling. If it's cold outside, it's warm inside. If it's warm inside, it's cold or vice versa, right? So
Yeah.
the weather didn't have an effect on me no more. So like, like I love what I do. The only difference that came with that is that my schedule kind of changed, and I had to get used to it because PT wasn't PT anymore for me. It was do it on your own.
Oh, y'all was running those Panama ships, huh?
Yeah, so the dental office opens up at 6 in the morning. You do PT at 6 in the morning. So I'm going to work at 5:30, already suited and booted for whatever we had to do. And by the time I got off, it was like 3. I go do PT. All right.
Man, in the infantry, which is kind of crazy. Let me ask before I talk about the infantry a little bit. What basic training did you go to? Like,
So I went to Fort Sill,
which is where?
in Oklahoma.
Oklahoma. What about you?
And,
Yeah, I went to Fort Sill.
You went to SEAL too?
Yeah.
and nothing there.
I went to Fort Benning, which was in Georgia, home of the infantry, and then you got the gay Cav Scouts that are right next door. Probably gonna catch some heat for that, but it's all good. So the Cav Scouts were kind of cool sometimes. They just looked gay to me because they always wear that Stetson and had a sword.
That's crazy.
How was it at Fort Sill for your basic training?
Man, I tell you what, I've never been somewhere where the weather played a big role in whatever it is. It's worse than here.
Yeah.
You know, it's cold one day and hot the next.
Yeah.
Over there, it's negative 17 degrees and then 50 the next,
And
or
that's
whatever
hour
the
to
case
hour.
may be. So I actually went. I joined in January. I shipped for basic on January 6th. Got there January 7th of 2014. So that's right around the winter time, right?
It was like ending, right?
No, it's barely. It's beginning.
Oh,
it's beginning.
that's how it is in
So the
Oklahoma?
whole entire time that I was in basic training and my AIT, there was snow on the ground. It would melt, and then a couple days later, snow again. But the crazy thing about it is that I've never been in snow. I'm from San Antonio.
Yeah.
So going from the coldest it being like 30,
40 max?
yeah, something like that, to being at -2 with the wind chill of negative 17, like that's
Oh.
cold. Literally.
And they let y'all wear y'all's PTs, like the winter PTs?
Yeah, you had to wear that. I mean, they give you all the stuff to stay warm, but at the end of the day, you
It's
can
still
never
cold.
fully be warm, right? Like, you got your gator neck. You put it on your face, but yet your eyes still show. So
Yeah.
you could have icicles on your eyelashes or something like that. You know,
Man, that's cold.
Yeah.
Did you go during the same time?
No, I went in April, so that was like it could be raining one day, it could be sunny another, it could be cold one of those days too as well. So yeah, mine. I understand what he's talking about Oklahoma just being bipolar in its weather. Yeah, that shit sucked. It sucked in its own way. I'm sure yours is probably a little tougher than ours. But
No, it didn't snow in Georgia, bro.
No.
And so when I shipped October 2nd of 2017, and so I got there like I think the 3rd or 4th or whatever, and I started because they had me in 1 week of processing. I didn't go straight to boot. Did that same thing? with
Yeah,
you?
yeah, same thing. I was in the first week of processing and then went. So.
Yeah. So the first week, I was like, oh, this is easy. Then I didn't realize that I was in processing.
yeah,
I was like, oh shit, I haven't even got to my company yet. So then finally, bro, they come and get us, and they take us back. And the weather, I didn't notice the weather. I hadn't noticed it yet because in processing, there's no real rules, so you can kind of like wear like your winter shit whenever you get it. Whenever I got to my unit, I don't know if this is just like an infantry thing, but like it was like I went in the winter, so it was like 30 to 40 degrees. Never snowed, but it would be ice, like ice roads and
Yeah.
shit like that. And the wind would be crazy. But they wouldn't let you wear your winter PTs or like even winter gear. Like most of the time we're in PTs because the first, I think like 3 weeks was just straight up like doing obstacle courses, and you always did them in your PTs, or sometimes we'd be in our uniform. But either way, they wouldn't let you wear no winter gear because it had to be below 32. So if there was a day where it was like 35, 36, 40
yeah.
degrees, you ain't wearing none of that because it's quote unquote from my drill sergeant gay. So you ain't a little bitch. I'm like, dude, it's cold as hell out here. I don't know what you're talking about. And I was from Texas too, San Antonio. I'm so used to the hot weather. When I went out there, bro, and it would rain. And so the drill sergeant always said, if it's cold, it's okay. If it's wet, it's okay. It's not okay to be wet and cold. I was like, dog, you ain't giving us the option for that because we weren't able to suit up with nothing. Man, I really hated it, bro. So my whole thing, we didn't get to wear no winter gear, and I graduated in February. So it was, mine was just crucial, bro. Like I know yours is colder, but mine felt just as cold just because they didn't they didn't let us wear winter gear, and not wearing winter gear is extremely painful because you be standing there in your summers at 40 degrees and the wind's going and you're just like at attention. It's like, don't move. So you're just like just shaking, bro. Oh man, I hated it. But a lot of people, civilians don't know that, right? Civilians don't see the actual pain that we had to suffer because really like that's painful to just like, no, you wouldn't catch no civilian do that. They moment they walk outside, it's cold. Oh, let me go get a jacket. Oh, look at this. So they don't really know what it is as far as like just going through a basic boot camp, right? And I tell my brothers, I have 4 brothers. None of them been in the military. They're like, oh yeah, it'd be easy. I'm like, y'all don't even know the first thing of what it is about discipline. You don't know what it is when someone gets in your face. You don't know what it is whenever like someone's actually like out there to not really get you, but to try to make your life hell.
It's that test.
Yeah, and more so, it's not even right because we've all had somebody get in our face, whether it be through basic training or just like our day to day before we came into basic training. It's more so about controlling and mastering your emotions when somebody does that, because that's what you need at the end of the day. It's that discipline, that bearing, because it's always gonna happen. Somebody's going, your higher ups, your platoon sergeant, team lead, they gonna come at you sideways, and you don't think you're in the wrong. And it's just being able to sit there and say, you know what, I might have fucked up, and I don't have to get back at you in an aggressive manner. I just got to take it on the chin and Charlie Mike.
Because man, if that had happened to someone in the civilian life, let's say it happened at someone's job where their boss gets in their face like, hey, you're this, you're a piece of shit, whatever. They just quit.
Yeah.
They say, you know what, fuck this job, I quit. In the military, bro, you do that shit, you're going to jail.
Man.
You're going to go to jail, bro. So you have no choice but to hold your tongue. And if you don't hold your tongue, it's like they're going to demote you. They're going to take half your pay. And then you're going to get stuck on extra duty. It's like you're working overtime for free on half the pay scale. And it's like, people don't understand that. It's like you really can't fuck up in the military because people are like, I wouldn't let no one get in my face. Oh, I wouldn't let. Yeah,
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
okay. Once you understand what the
said than
consequences are that they'll give you, I guarantee you would hold your goddamn tongue.
Oh,
'cause
yeah, for
I ain't
sure.
doing no extra duty for free, and I ain't gonna do it for half the pay rate at that. Because in basic training, what do we make like every 2 weeks? Like $600.
Shit, less than that, I think we made 300. I want to
yeah,
say if
something
we
like
came in as a private, I think we made like 300.
Nah, bro, I was making at least $600.
Yeah,
Every-
well,
I'm talking about the first. I'd make 600.
it's a little different because as far as what I remember, I don't know what year y'all went in, but what I remember is that they gave us like a
Start
cash
card,
advance or
yeah.
whatever, right? So the cash advance was to buy your own gear.
The card.
Right, right.
Not a star card, but what are they called?
Like
The
an
Eagle
Eagle
card.
card. There you
Yes,
go.
something
Yeah.
like that, right? So it already had like your first month's paycheck on there, right?
Yeah.
Like man, like okay, so I got to work a month to pay this off, right?
Yeah.
So my
Yeah.
first 2 weeks,
'Cause they make
I don't
you
think I
spend
made
it.
shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to buy your own stuff, like like that's crazy. But I even had to pay for. I think I paid $13 for my haircut to get bald. Like if I would have
Yeah.
known that, I would have cut my own hair, right? Like like let me save this money, $13 just to zero me out, like
Yeah. I
like-
remember that. They made you, I was like, well, do y'all charge for this? And then they make you buy their shoes because you
Yeah.
can't use your own shoes. It's like, bro, I came in with some Nikes that were pretty good for athletics. But it's like, no, pick out of our Asics, pick out of our
Yeah.
whatever other, what other brands
Yes,
did
they had
I know
Asics,
Asics.
Hokas, and I think they might have had New Balances.
Then yeah, no,
Yeah.
they
I
definitely
got
did because
Asics
I
when I
had
was
New
in there.
Balances.
Yeah, I couldn't stand those. Like, just give me an all black or all white pair. They had these highlighter colors on them.
Yeah, dude.
I was like, because I was still in the mindset like I gotta look good out here in my my PT shorts and throw some nice shoes on. But they had these highlighter colors on. I was like, just give me an all black pair. How
Dude,
difficult
the
is
only
that?
reason why I got the Asics was because they were the only shoe that was all black.
Yeah.
Every other brand had stupid colors. And I was like, nah, I ain't doing that.
Yeah.
Even though it's crazy. Did you go to basic training with girls?
I did.
Did you?
Yeah.
Bro, when I went to basic training, it was all dudes. I didn't see one girl my entire, like, not even till the day the day of my graduation is when I was like, I saw a girl. Or
Yeah.
unless you went to Sook Hall, which I never did. I went on my last week because I wanted to go see the dentist. Because I was having a pain on my tooth. But we were already in that recovery week.
Yeah.
And I remember just seeing a girl, it was like,
That shit was
dude,
rocked
just act
up.
stupid, bro. Like, you gotta act like,
You ain't had no
Right.
game. You
yeah,
was
like
like,
no
fuck.
game. And I was like, bro, when I came in here, I had game. What the
Right.
fuck happened to my game? I'm over here like, yeah, I haven't been with a girl in a minute. Like,
Yeah.
Man,
Got
I
you all
tell you
nervous,
what,
a little
yeah, it's
bit.
funny that you say that because when I first got in and there were women or the girls into my basic training, they were ugly, right? Like I was like, okay, some of them are cute, but most of them are ugly.
oh yeah.
I'm there for 12 weeks.
Yeah.
I'm like, damn, like she's starting to look kind of cute.
That fine started looking like a 10.
Like we're about to graduate.
Uh-huh.
What are you gonna do? But I like, man, like what I started thinking about that, like, yo, what happened, right? Like, there's
Yeah.
no way. But
Bro,
sure
that
enough.
was me when I was when I was in Africa with my deployment. Man, we had some ugly fat bitches, and he's like, I ain't trying to disgrace somebody. If y'all see this, because I know a lot of them.
I like chubby
me.
girls. I like chubby
Just
girls.
make sure they're all beautiful in their own way. you
Right.
know?
Well, I was like, nah, my boys, I ain't doing nothing with them. Like month 3, month 4, it's like, hey, bro, she's with someone else. I'm like, and he's like, oh, man, I was gonna hit that. I'm like, what happened 3 months ago, bro? He said, and even me, after like the 5th or 6th month, I was like, yeah, y'all starting to look pretty cute. I was like, now that it's hot out here, y'all slim down a little bit. Sweated all that fat off. Because in Africa, man, it was crazy. Like, you know how like when you go outside, you kind of start to get like a little tingle in your body before you're about to sweat.
Mm.
You're like, oh, like you know you're about to start sweating. Bro, in Africa, it wasn't like that.
Mm.
You walk outside, you could have been in a 70-degree AC building. You walk out, instant sweat, just like that, because it was that hot. Like the coldest day when I was there was 92 degrees at 2 a.m. at night.
God,
At night, and it was humid. It was a humid 92, bro. You're just there, like same thing. Walk out, it's like, oh, it's a nice night. No, it ain't. You just take a shower, bro. You can't even walk to the PX, and the PX is less than a quarter mile.
Man, though.
Yeah, the one thing that I loved was that shower time. Like there, I don't know how y'all did it, but
In basic? You talking about basic?
Nah, not even in basic. Just
I was like,
in
bro,
general. Like
basic, they
whenever
gave me 10
like
seconds.
if you deploy or
To the hot
if
spots.
you do your how do I say I don't know if you ever been to NTC or anything like that, right? It's the pre-deployment training.
Yeah, I did
Um,
pre-mobilization.
but man, you don't have showers out there. You're there for a month, right?
Yeah.
And you're in the desert. You don't got showers.
Bro, baby wipes. Baby wipes are your best. Like you
so-
doing baby wipe showers.
Once we came back and I hit that shower, of course the water was cold, but like it's the small things that you become grateful for, right?
Yeah.
Like oh my
Or
god,
even a
like,
hot meal.
water. Yeah, for sure the food. Definitely the cot, bro. I don't know about y'all, but there was times where we had to like sleep in the vehicle because we had to pull our shifts, right?
Oh, all
So,
the time, bro. We didn't even
um,
get cuts. To tell you the truth.
No,
Nah, bro.
so
Not even when I came back and I had because I went to National Guard.
yeah.
And even when we would just go out for the weekend, then it's like, nah, no cots.
It makes you rethink life, bro. It's like, yo, I got a bed at home. What am I doing here, right?
Yeah,
like,
bro.
Like, I could use the restroom whenever I want to instead of having to ask permission to,
Yeah.
you know. So it's definitely those little small things that kind of trigger just a different effect in just anybody for the service member, either men or women, right? So like, you know, whenever you're out, it's easier for a man to go to the restroom, do whatever they got to do. But then when you start thinking about it, it's like, damn, like how do the girls do that or whatever? And,
Yeah.
and it's a little bit more difficult. So I'm pretty sure it kind of took some tolls on them. But I was like, oh
Hey, were y'all allowed soda in basic training?
no,
No, bro. So I remember when I first got out of basic and I drank a soda, bro. that
nasty.
burn, bro.
Nasty.
I was like, ugh. I thought I was all excited, like, hell yeah, I finally get a drink of Dr. Pepper. Fuck no, bro. This shit was disgusting. It took me a while, but dude, it's like you just don't realize what you miss until it's gone. And just like you said, it's the little things. Hot shower, maybe even a warm food, bro. Just having a cot was luxurious, especially in the field. And I was always in the field, so like in the field, it's like one thing I always made sure I had was they used to call it the puss pad. I don't know if y'all called it the same thing, the gray roll up pad.
Oh, yep.
Oh, you talking about the sleeping mat?
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, we called it a puss pad because, and I remember my first couple times going in the field, they were like, "Nah, don't bring it. It's a puss pad." So I never brought it. And then I remember
Y'all out there like, oh, I can struggle more than you can.
Yeah,
I love that shit.
yeah,
I love
bro.
that shit, man.
It was just like
I
that.
love that shit.
And then my buddy's like, "That's stupid, bro. I'm taking mine." I was like,
Yeah,
it's gay."
right.
And then the second time we went to the field, I was like, "I'm taking mine, bro. I don't know what the fuck they're talking about." I was sitting there blowing that boy up, trying to make it as cushy.
Mhm.
It made a big difference. I was like,
Absolutely, 100%.
I don't know why they were just trying to get us to suffer as much as we can.
Yeah.
It's like you would think they'd try to help you and give you the tips that you need, man. Like it ain't gonna be cold this weekend. Y'all don't need winter gear.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, so I don't take no damn winter gear. And
I
it's
think
like,
this
oh,
that's one thing that I mean, other than like the field aspect and stuff, I think that's one thing that sets. Because when I went out to Fort Campbell to do air assault training, I talked to a couple infantry guys out there. I was talking about either reclassing or going ranger, and they were talking about promotions, and I was talking about the PPW. I don't know if you know what a PPW
don't,
is,
bro.
because right. So that's one of those things that sets infantry or those combat MOSs, because I think I only talked to infantry folks, and they unfortunately didn't get around to knowing what a PPW is, correspondent courses. I think that's one of the like toughest things about y'all that I figured out, that y'all don't get some of the information that we get, because for us, we most of the time we're behind the desk working on computers and stuff like that, so we're privy to that kind of information. You probably could have got promoted a long time ago and you didn't even know about it.
bro,
That
I was
sucks.
ranked on the point chart on the
Yeah.
system. Well, this was for the National Guard. I don't know how active works, right? So I had already had my SSDs done.
Mhm.
I had already went to BLC, all graduated, everything. And to tell you the truth, I was ranked third in state
Mhm.
on the promotion board.
Yeah.
And but the thing is, and I don't know how it is on active, but with the National Guard, it's all about the good old boy system. And if you don't know what the good old boy system is, I'm gonna tell the people out here, it's for people who are liked more than you, no matter the points that they have. And so if your first sergeant likes a certain soldier because of how he does things versus you even having more points and more schooling and already done with the BLC and stuff like that, if he wants to promote him, he can. Now I don't know if that flies on active, but it does fly in the guard.
Yeah.
I tell you, it does.
Oh yeah.
Man, I was a sergeant major driver, so I got to receive all the benefits.
Ooh,
All the
yeah,
benefits.
you lucky, bro.
Like if the
Yeah.
sergeant major has you, you're set, right? Like
Unless you fuck it up.
but man, I tell you what,
Crash his whip.
me and my sergeant major, we were always together, right? Like technically, you're supposed to be their bodyguard, so
Yeah, like a PSG type.
yeah,
deal.
yeah. So I was with them 24/7. Especially whenever we would go out and we would do stuff by ourselves. Especially during training and man, my sergeant major had a phone, but we're not allowed to have phones. He's like, yo, Specialist Hall, like, if you got a phone, you can use my charger. Like, you're playing, right? He's like, nah, you can use your charger. I'm like, all right, cool. And then whenever we go out somewhere, like if we're in the field and we got to be out there for a couple of days, he'd be like, hey, let's head back. Let's get some food. I like, hey, say no more. I already got the truck on. I see people out there working in the hot sun. I
the
turn my
AC been
truck on and the
running.
AC good. But I got to receive those perks and benefits. And even too, like with my MOS, with the rockets and missiles, man, my point system, it was so low. It was sitting at 21 points. 21 points, and you could do a range and get promoted like that, right?
Damn.
I went to the promotion board. I got everything I needed to do. But unfortunately, like how you were saying before, sometimes you got to hold your tongue. There was some times where I didn't.
Yeah.
I got the equal opportunity thing, or EO, whatever it is.
Yeah, an
because
EO complaint.
I called somebody a faggot, bro. And
Oh
and,
no. No.
and it was like yo, I'm like, man, I can't believe like
Was
he
that when
actually
you were
did
13
that.
Bravo or 16
13?
at the-
I was 13 Papa.
Oh, my
So
fault, 13 Papa.
yeah, so that's whenever it was, but it was one of my friends, man, and
He
he wasn't the
no.
one. He
Oh, the
he had
third
just-
party.
Yeah, he had just got some girlfriend, and it was like during Christmas time, so he had wore this jacket that said "I love my Filipino girlfriend," right? And so I'm like, yo, like we don't love these hoes, right? But that was me in the military, right? Like,
Yeah.
that's my mindset. And I commented on his post like, yo, like stop being a faggot, take that shit off, right? And sure enough,
Oh, you did it on social media.
yeah.
Oh, you
sure
heard his
enough,
pride.
man. Sure enough, bro.
So she had the proof.
Yeah, she did,
Yeah.
but I got in trouble for that.
Quick screenshot.
Man, I got demoted too. So even with my promotable status, I got that taken away. But I got demoted a couple of times. Like after that, like you know what, like you're not in the service, you're not an actual service member unless you get an Article 15, right? So like you know
Yeah,
what,
no, I
okay,
caught
so
one, bro.
so I actually caught 3 in my career.
Damn, I only caught one.
Yeah, I
dog.
caught
and mine was
3.
for fist fighting. Oh man, bro. I had a thing, bro. Like where, like, bro, we're the same rank. Who the fuck you talking
Yeah,
to?
yeah,
I'll
for
knock you the
sure,
fuck- And
for
that's how
sure.
it was. Like I never. Well, I did fight one sergeant when I was overseas. Oh, dude, bro, I just had a different mindset. But I don't know. But he was cool. We fought, hashed it out, and there was nothing to it. And then,
I think that's the craziest part because y'all are built like y'all are trained to go into and be aggressive in all y'all's environments that y'all are in, and for them to just punish y'all for getting into fights, it seems nonsensical and contradictory.
it is. It's contradicting because they want you to be the most aggressive, but they also want you to be the most disciplined.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of like, bro, that's not the way you trained me.
Right.
Because in basic training, like, our drill sergeants weren't like, oh, like, go to parade rest when you talk to me, like, but you can't talk to them like they're your buddy either.
Right.
Like, you have to be professional, but it's like,
Yeah.
we don't do that gay shit. Like, you don't got to worry about blousing your boots. You don't got to worry about cupping up your sleeves. And then, so when we walk around the garrison base, and everyone's like, hey, what the fuck you doing? It's like, shut up. Don't fucking worry about it. Even though I'm a specialist, you're E6. I don't give a fuck. And then you get in trouble for it. And it's like, bro, like, I'm not a fucking garrison soldier.
I tell you what, some of them take their job too serious, man.
Really, bro. They really do.
I know.
And there's no one worse in the army than someone who's extra hua all the fucking time for no reason.
No reason.
No reason. I'm like, bro, like, do you really live your life like this?
Oh, they do.
I
They
know.
really do, right?
I had
They
an
really
instructor
do.
like, yeah, I go home and I PT on the weekends and I only do the army PT. I'm like, bro, what the fuck? Go to the gym.
Mm-hmm.
Go do something else. We do PT Monday to Friday, and you want to go do PT by yourself? because you think it's the best fucking exercise out there. Like, goddamn, that's not the case. But man, I tell you the truth, the transition is kind of hard because I remember my girl used to tell me whenever I'd be gone for the weekend for my 1 month when I was on the guard, she's like, you know, it would take you days to like kind of come back to a civilian. I was like, well, what do you mean? She's like, and I never noticed this. She'd be like, well, like the way you talk, I guess maybe it's an infantry thing where we just don't give a fuck. We say shit that's hurtful, but we don't know it's hurtful.
I think it is a military thing in general.
Right? It might be. And so like I'm desensitized. You can't, like, nothing can hurt me. Someone can't say, oh, you fat ass, oh, you fucking stupid fuck. Like, really, like, that shit don't bother me. Because it's a joke. Like, I think everything is a joke whenever like, I don't take it as an insult unless it's like, hey, like, you know what I mean? Like, but she says, you can't talk like that. Like, it's not manners. It's like, not this. It's like, you make, like, the worst dark humor jokes. I'm like, I think they're funny. Like,
yeah, I think I can relate to you on that.
She's like, you don't have no sensitivity at all. I'm like, and like, I don't know what to say. Like, you know what I mean? So, and then I noticed that some people are like, bro, you changed. I'm like, how? Like, well, you're way more aggressive. I'm like, I don't even know what that means. Like, I ain't out here beating everybody up. I don't know what you're talking about. They're like, well, it's just the shit you say. I'm like, bro, I thought I've been talking like this forever. I don't know what you're talking about. But maybe it's just because people like look at us different in a way. They're like, oh, you need to have more, you should be more disciplined, you should have more respect, you just came from the military. It's like, bro, that's not the fucking military. Y'all have the wrong impression for whenever we get out. Y'all think that we're going to be like super soldiers that are like super yes sir, no sir to every single person we see. And I'm like, that's not the case. It's like, it's actually the opposite. Like, we ain't saying yes sir and no sir. Like, who the fuck are you?
Exactly.
But people always think that our life was easy in the Army. It's like, yeah, if it was so easy, y'all would do it, but y'all don't. But the benefits, though, when you get out.
Yeah, I tell you what. I think that's one of the things that actually is crazy. You make more money doing nothing being out than you ever did doing something being in.
Yeah,
and
100%.
that's a I won't even say it's a full-time job. That's a whole lifestyle, right? A 24/7 type thing, right? You don't get days off. You're always working. It doesn't matter if you're even in your civilian clothes. If you're on post or on base, you're still working. You're a soldier 24/7. Here I'm like, you know what? It's Sunday. I'm gonna sleep in.
Yeah.
Or damn, like I gotta be somewhere at 10 o'clock. It's 9:50. I'll be 10 minutes late. You know.
I'll leave it.
Yeah, for sure. But definitely, it's. We did it for so long that it's almost like how I say, like when you start to build a habit and you get tired of it, you don't want to do it no more.
Yeah.
So for
6 years,
8 years, I woke up at 5 in the morning. Try to wake me up at 5 in the morning. Now I'm like what the fuck is wrong with you? You know, like I'm sleeping.
You know what the craziest thing was? Is that I remember, like, I can't do this anymore. But dude, we used to go out drinking. We would drink until what, 3 in the morning, 4 in the morning, fuck, sometimes 5, and then you go to sleep for an hour. You got to be at formation at 7 or whatever, 6:30. You're there like this.
Oh yeah.
No problem. You wake up, ain't no big deal. Like, you're a little drowsy, but whatever. Now it's like, nah, I'm gonna sleep in the rest of the day.
For sure.
Because I feel like the responsibility level is different. Like, maybe I was just younger, but there's so many things are different. Like, I used to feel like I used to be able to drink all night and then wake up early, no problem, run the whole next day, and just do it over and over and over and over again. Now, like, I'll drink 1 to 2 days a week at most, 2 at most, like getting fucked up. It's crazy, that transition, bro. Because you just have that mindset. You're like, I ain't waking up at 5. I ain't doing that shit. But back then, it was like, bro, you had to. You gonna get that article.
I had to. So that's actually, I don't know about you, but that's actually another thing that I actually got in trouble for. I wasn't drinking and driving, but I did develop an alcohol addiction. You know, you're a single soldier. You want to go out. You want to do things. And
wait, what soldier don't?
Right. But my shit was like, I knew exactly what was going on every single day. Right?
Yeah.
It was like, Sundays and Mondays were going to be football, right? Tuesdays could be beer pong night. Wednesdays could be a flip cup or something. Thursdays was thirsty Thursdays, and Fridays and Saturdays you was just going out just to party, bro. So
It's
everything,
Friday.
yeah. So everything that could go on that you could entertain yourself with, I was there.
Yeah.
I was at the bar playing pool, and I don't even shoot pool, bro. I was like, I'm gonna learn.
Yeah.
I was playing beer pong, like you're like, I don't even shoot, I don't even drink, right? Like, but it definitely develops a habit. It got so bad to where, like you said, like you would drink till 5 in the morning. I literally take a small cat nap, 15 minutes, and then go to formation, run on Mondays, work out on Tuesdays. But it got to the point to where I was literally going to PT, coming back home from that 7:30 to 9 before our first formation, taking like an hour break, going to lunch, coming back home, taking another hour nap, then going to work. And then after I got to work, I'm like, okay, like I'm up now, right? Like,
Yeah.
let's go drink again. Let's go get fucked up or whatever
Yeah.
the case may be. But
And it doesn't even help when all the boys are like,
let's go.
when you got all the boys there too.
Hell yeah.
You got no wife, you got no
Hell
girlfriend. Even if you do
yeah.
got a girlfriend, you're just like, fuck that, I'm going to drink with the boys.
Hell yeah.
And now, bro, it's funny because when you get out, well, if you get out non-married, right? Like you just, for me at least, I kept drinking crazy, bro. Like I kept drinking like I was in the military, and still going to work the next day like it was not a big deal. But I did that shit for like 2-3 years, and then I realized, I was like, bro, I got a problem. Like that's a serious problem. I shouldn't be drinking 6 to 7 days a week, going to work every single day, thinking it's normal. To like, I'm not talking about just having 2-3 beers.
Right.
That's okay. I'm talking about getting like fucking hammered, like to where you just black out every night. Like you shouldn't black out 5 to 6 nights.
Oh, hell
It's not
no.
ideal for the human body, but I was doing it like it was normal. And I was talking about I was working in the oil field doing this shit because I carried that habit over from the army. And man, dude, like people think that whenever you get out of the army, we're gonna like all these who was soldiers and yes or no sir. It's like, bro, we got out with more problems than you think. Even though you wouldn't think drinking is a problem, it really is a problem. Whenever you do it like that, like
Yeah,
blackout,
hell yeah.
trying to get fucked up
Hell
every day.
yeah.
And it's like, and then you gotta ask yourself, well, why are you doing it? You don't ask that question ever until it's like too late, until you've done something, until something bad has happened or DWI or some shit, and you're like, all right, I gotta chill out. And that's what happened to me. I think I just realized that I kept getting in too many fights, and then I got DWI. I was like, yeah. Getting arrested was enough for me to. Now I drink. Don't get me wrong, but now I'm able to have a couple drinks, be okay, and not want to go full on blackout. How I used to want to
Yeah.
in the army. It's just crazy because I want to talk about the transition out. I know you're still in, but I don't think you have that problem, right? As far as drinking.
Nah,
Like crazy?
If I'm drinking, I know when to stop. Like once I start buzzing, like I start feeling flush in my face. I'm like, okay, I'm cool because I want to still be alert,
Yeah.
be able to handle something if I got to. But yeah, I don't necessarily have that drinking issue.
Which is good, bro, because that's a good thing to carry. Another thing that's really crazy is that you're not married. You don't. I mean, I know you don't got a girlfriend or whatever.
Damn, we just out here put my
Threw you
business
out
out
there,
there.
No,
Hey,
no.
but he's trying to do it so he can hook me up. Hey, y'all let me know.
Hey, y'all hit on my boy Dean. He's right there.
Right.
Put the camera on him. Hey. No, but the thing is that like he's gonna know this. You know this. How many soldiers go to the military, get in there, and think they're gonna make an extra $200-300 by getting married, and
Yeah.
it's not even worth it. And then they get in
It's
this
more than
bullshit.
$200-300, bro. It's like
Well, yeah, 15 like the
it's-
BAH, right?
Yeah, it's like 1,500 plus you get your meal supplements, and I think they even went up in your meal supplements to like $450 a month. So you're
Damn.
literally probably taking about an extra 2,000 back home. But you ask me, I will never ever trade the money for the marriage, right? So marriage is
Yeah.
something that I definitely hold dear to me. So it's not going
Yeah.
to be for compensation. It's going to be for pure love.
See,
But-
and a lot of soldiers in the military don't think like that. A lot of soldiers are like, oh, they just want the money. And then they get in this bullshit relationship, and then they marry within a month or two. And then they find themselves getting this extra money, but then they find the girl cheating on them, sleeping with their
Taking their
dudes,
money.
not even
Nah.
staying loyal whenever they're gone. And then you get a bunch of suicidal. What happens is you get a bunch of suicidal soldiers, right? And then it's like then they feel demoralized, and then they feel like they're heartbroken because how could this girl do this to me? It's like, bro, you only knew her for like a month, and
Right.
you married her. What do you expect? But they don't see it like that, which is crazy because I never got married when I was in the military. I actually waited till I got out. Ended on its own terms, but we're not gonna say that one. Anyways, man, if I could push any message to any soldier, and you're watching this and you're in the military and you're a E1 to E4, don't get married for the wrong reasons. Trust me. I've seen it happen to multiple soldiers. She's gonna hurt you, bro. And if you think she's not gonna hurt you and you think she's the one, you're an idiot. If you've been with her for a couple years and you really, really have trust in her, okay, go for it. But don't be waiting. At least wait 1 year. Wait till your ass is gone for a year and see if she cheats on you when you're deployed. Especially if you plan on doing 20 years, she might not be the one.
Yeah.
Which that's just a message for y'all. That's for me to help y'all out. We got 3 vets here, all saying the same thing: that do it for purity of love. Don't do it for the money. Don't do it for the compensation. Don't do it because you want to get out of the barracks. Stay your ass in the barracks.
Yeah, one thing is, don't ever marry another soldier. I'll tell you what.
That ain't ever gonna work out. She gonna cheat on you when she's deployed, and you gonna cheat on her when you're deployed. And if you say you're not, you're a liar.
I was one of those, right? The ones that they would cheat on with, not the ones that got cheated on.
Yeah, you were Jody, bro.
So
you were
exactly,
a Jody,
and I was okay with it. Well, I was 21, 22 years old. What? I didn't have no care in the world. Like,
as long as it wasn't your boy, right?
Oh, nah.
Like,
how do I say? I say, yeah. It's never as it seems, right? It will never ever be as it seems whenever you're in the military, especially if you're with somebody else who's a service member too.
Yeah.
There's just too many opportunities for things to happen, and that's one of the things that actually opened my eyes to not be married. I'm like, yo, like, this chick's married. I don't care, right? I'm gonna do it anyways, right? Like,
No, hands
she's
down.
not my
bro.
wife. But that's one of the things that kind of like now that I'm older and I can reflect on it, I'm like, damn, like that was wrong, because I don't know if it caused problems in their relationship later on in life
yeah,
or
of
whatever
course.
the case
Probably
may be.
ended
So,
it.
but all I know is that if they're willing to do it with one, they're willing to do it with another, right? So
Yeah, let's actually talk about masculinity real quick about that subject specific. If you ever have a girl, and correct me if I'm wrong, if you think anything else, if you ever have a girl and she cheats on you, the relationship should automatically be over. And I don't care what you did to her or what you've done to her in the past. If she ever cheats, make sure you leave her, because she's never going to respect you the same as a man. If she thinks she can do it once and you forgave her, she's going to think she can do it again and you're going to forgive her again. And, that's she can do a lot of things other than cheat, and it'll be all right, because, girls are crazy. That's what it is. But the moment she cheats on you, bro, that's a relationship killer. The girl has no respect. You got to go. I don't care if you've cheated on her 100 times. She cheats on you.
it's vice versa, bro. You gotta play the same game you're willing to do, right?
Right.
So if you're willing to be faithful, then expect your wife to be faithful. If you're willing to step outside of your relationship, expect the same in return.
It's true.
And
This is true.
that's just being as real as possible, right? There's some women that you could cheat on forever that will never ever cheat on you.
That's true too.
And then there's some that
I
will
just
get
don't
back
think
at
it
you.
works the other way around.
It's one of those little subjects that can be argued upon, right?
Yes, of course.
But it literally just comes down to the character.
Right.
Uh,
We're not talking about like an open relationship.
Nothing
not those
like
type that they got their own agreements. So we're talking about just a traditional,
Monogamous.
yeah, relationship.
yeah.
Kid's mom type deal. Like, nah, it's like you ain't gonna let it slide. Cause my baby mom, my first one, cheated on me when I was overseas. I didn't even know. She didn't tell me. I ended up leaving her because we were arguing and fighting all the time, and I just didn't want to be around her no more. Calls me a year later, told me she cheated on me while I was gone. We weren't even together. I was ready in another relationship. And it just like, even though it was a year later and I was ready in another relationship, bro, it fucking broke my heart.
Hurts,
It hurt
right?
me so bad because everyone says it's gonna happen to you, it's gonna happen to you, and I was in my head like, nah, it ain't gonna happen to me. Like, she ain't gonna happen to me. She loves me. And then I ended up breaking up with that girl that I was with at that time, and you know, she sees me like single, and she's trying to get back with me, and I'm like, yo, I'm not ever gonna get back with you. I was like, I never even knew you cheated. You told me, and you don't even understand that broke my heart. That broke my thing, and I'm never gonna allow you to do that to me again. If some other girl does that to me, that's some other girl. But you specifically, that's not happening to me, because bro, it's like someone just pulled the fucking heart out, bro. I have 2 kids with her, and it was the worst fucking thing I've ever felt. Like, I just felt bad, and I think maybe that's kind of why I picked up, you know, drinking again, and this is a bad road to go down. So I told myself when that happened to me that if a girl ever does any type of cheating on me or whatever, it's forever done. Like, I don't care if you got drunk. It's not an excuse.
Right.
I don't care if someone influenced you. It's not a fucking excuse. You know, you shouldn't have put yourself in that position. Granted, I won't let her get in that position, because then it's not really my type of relationship.
Right.
Like I said, every relationship is different. I just think that's like a masculine thing, right? That I don't think that's cool. I'm not saying it's cool for the man to cheat. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that shit either. I'm just saying, like, for the guys out there, if she cheats on you, bro, just call it quits before you get too far deep. Then it hurts even more later when she does it again.
Yeah,
At the end
for
of the day,
sure.
like, y'all trying to get each other back, and it's like,
Yeah, bro. She's all about revenge, and I'm trying to get you because you got me. That's not the girl you want. What do you think?
Nah, I can agree with that. Right? It creates so many other problems, so many other issues. But man, crazy, bro. Because I said there are some women that will stick with you even after you do it. That will work everything out. I have one of those. I've stepped out of my relationship, and she's found out, but never ever tried to do it in return.
And that's a fucking girl worth keeping and marrying, because
Oh, for sure.
she's gonna understand that you were, you know, going through shit. I don't like saying this word too much, but like fighting demons in a way, like where you kind of just don't know yourself or find yourself, or you kind of just don't really realize what you're doing until it's too late, right? And for her to stick around and still love you through it because she's willing to fight through it, dude, that's a keeper, bro.
Yeah, I as bad as it sounds, and I know she's probably gonna watch this, but it unfortunately it's almost like a test, right? Like, to see what they really want you for. If they're willing to endure all this pain and suffering that you put them through and still treat you nothing less than how they've been treating you, yeah, that's one that deserves it for sure.
100%.
For sure. So, like I said, I have one of those, and I'm blessed to have that, and I do have 2 boys with her, so she deserves everything that I can offer.
How does it feel being a dad, bro?
Man, so it's it's got its ups and downs, right? There's no book on how to be a parent. There's nothing at all. Unfortunately, I actually became a dad at 16 years old.
Dang.
Yeah.
So how old is your oldest?
She's 13.
With the same girl you with right now?
No, I got 4 kids and 3 different baby moms. So I started young. Like I said, I was like a sucker for love or something like that, right? But I was just doing it wrong. But honestly, when you're that young, it kind of hits you, right? Like, yo, like, I'm not ready to be a dad. So unfortunately, for my daughter's younger years in life, I wasn't present. It wasn't until I had that thing put to me to where you have a daughter, she's so beautiful. I was always like, I don't want to meet her or nothing like that, because I was so set in that I was doing wrong, and if I meet her, I'm gonna feel that effect, right?
Right.
Man,
so you had a boy first, right?
I had a girl first.
Oh, you had a girl first?
Yeah, I had a girl first.
Okay.
But I ended up meeting her shortly after she was 2. And I went to go pick her up from a daycare, and man, when I saw her, I dropped down to my knees and I started crying, apologizing. it was just something that I've never felt before, right? Like
It's a feeling that it's undescribable.
Exactly, but it wasn't of happiness or joy, but it was of pain, because how could I do that to my child, right?
Right.
Like how could
Yeah.
I do that to somebody that you're supposed to protect, you're supposed to show the world to,
Right.
and it kind of made it a little bit more sensitive to me, because at 19 I had my second child, which I had a boy.
Mhm.
My son was born, and shortly after he passed away.
Oh, man, I'm sorry,
So
brother.
I've had my ups and downs, right? I had
Is that
I-
the one you're with now? Or?
no, this is somebody else.
Okay.
So I seem like a hoe, but I'm really not.
Nah,
right,
you're
right. I'm
good.
really not.
That's
I was
only
just
3
young,
encounters.
Right, I was just young.
Did you know?
That we know of.
So it's a different feeling whenever you're ready to be a dad, and that gets taken away from you, right?
Yeah.
Like it's unfortunate. Some people do know what it feels like to have their child pass away in their arms, right? To have that, and it,
I wish I don't wish that on anybody, bro.
me neither.
Not that it's ever happened to me, and I just pray it don't happen to nobody, because I can't even imagine the feeling that you felt. I really can't.
All right, so that right there was the reason why I got close to my daughter, right? So I thought I lost the world, right? Like I wanted my son so bad. My firstborn,
Yeah.
I was so happy, and it got taken away from me. At first, me being young, I questioned it. Like, I blamed everything on God, and a lot of people will, but me growing up and me finally realizing it, it wasn't him, right? Like it wasn't his fault. It was just an unfortunate event that happened, but
Right.
there was a reason for it to happen, right?
Right.
I would not know how to be a dad with two childs, being older, a 13-year-old, and he would be 12 now, and then I would not know how to be in the military, right? I would not know how to lead my child. I would not know how to lead my family, but that's what drew me to this. Like, you know what? Like, I got to do something different.
Yeah.
I got to provide for my daughter. I got to be whatever she wants me to be. At 27, I had my third child. I had a boy, which is with the one that I'm with now. And man, during the whole entire pregnancy, I would not touch her stomach. I would not do any of that, right? Because I still had that feeling of like that remembrance of when my first son passed away. So I was like, I'm not gonna get my hopes up. Like I can't endure another painful event like that. Like, I just can't.
Yeah.
Wow,
But
so you was trying to be distant to the.
yes,
Wow.
yes. Like I wasn't attached, but man, whenever my son was born, oh my God, he came out looking exactly like me, and
man, it's a good feeling.
I just I held him every single day. It's so crazy because I've never slept without him, right? Like I love my son. I love both of my kids to death, but my older son is just like, it was that relief, that blessing, that miracle to me. So from when he was first born to now, and he's 3, almost 4, like he's a daddy's boy. He's attached to my hip. He's like,
Yeah.
Daddy, I'm your twin, right? I'm your
Yeah.
twin.
That's awesome, man.
And that's one of the things that about being a dad is so it's so enlightful, right? Like, I go to work and I'm there for long hours. By the time I get home and I open that door, he's still up. He runs to the door, Daddy's home. And he knows, like, I have this thing with them. I always bring them some kind of candy. It doesn't matter what it is. But my boys love snacks, right?
Yeah.
So every time I walk to that door, Daddy, you have snacks? You have candy? When I don't, man, it's like I broke their heart. But when I do, it's like I'm the best dad ever. Like, I'm a superhero to them, right?
Yeah.
Same thing with my younger one. My younger one is like that. So he's starting to develop that process of, oh, this is what happens when he comes home, right? Like, let me stay up. So he runs to the door, and I don't know what's up with him. He's my wild child. Instead of hugging me, he kicks me, right? Or I like, yo, like what's your
got that
deal,
aggressive
bro? What's your
affection.
deal? Yeah. So
I missed you. Bam.
Right.
yeah, for sure,
That's
for
what-
sure.
yeah,
So that's my tough one, right?
Yeah.
But I think the reason why he's tough is because and again, it's my fault. I kind of paid a little bit more attention to my older one, because he was already able to walk around. He's already able to talk, and I
Yeah.
kind of left him with his mom. Hey, you deal with him when he's old enough. I'll take over, right?
Yeah.
So I have one that's a daddy's boy and one that's a mama's boy, and I don't know what to do with them no more. Both of them are wild. Both of them are troublemakers, but they're cute, so they think it's funny to get in trouble.
Oh.
And how you say what you were talking about earlier is that like you don't have any filter whenever you talk, right? So some people might agree, some people might not, but this is just my parenting thing, right? Like when I see my kids, I'm like, "What's up, motherfucker?" Right? Like, "What's up, nigga?" And that's how I talk to them or whatever. I'll be like, they'll do something. They'll be doing whatever. Like they'll be like, "Daddy, let's fight." I'm like, "Man, shut up, pussy," right? And it kind of backfired on me because now it's like shut up, pussy,
Yeah.
right? Like, boy, what'd you say? But they're so cute. Like, man, hey, hold on, right? Like, hold on. But being a dad is probably it is the reason why I live, right? Like there's nothing else that I do whatever I do for besides being a dad. There's no greater thing, and you have the same experience that I have with being a dad by cutting your own kid's hair, right? Like that is a pure bondingness.
Well,
pure
my son's a year and 2 months, or going on 2 months, and I've given him 3 haircuts. But you should know, like, as a baby, he's just he don't want it, bro. But whenever he gets older, I imagine it's cool. But I got a 5-year-old. Well, I have a 6-year-old and a 5-year-old girls, and I cut my 5-year-old's bangs and hair all the time. Because she's one of those girls that got the bangs right above the eyebrows. The other ones, she's like, "Don't touch my hair." But dude, I know what you're saying about. I'd kind of show a little bit more favoritism to my oldest daughter whenever, because there's a big gap between them and my son. They're 6 and 5, and he's 1. So she learned how to walk first. She learned how to talk first, how to do certain things first. So I was always more excited to play with her because she was already walking, and the other one was just like not walking, or she was like a little baby still. And I loved her. Don't get me wrong, love them both. But you do show a little bit more attention to one. It's because they're older and you feel like you can do more with them versus the little one. And then later when you realize that, like, you probably should have been
for both of them.
But it's like, I mean, I had my first daughter when I was 19, and so my second one I had when I was 20, 21. Yeah, they're only a year apart, literally only a year apart. So I know what you mean by that, bro. But honestly, they're both mama's girls because they've been with their mom their whole life. I wasn't really in their life so much in the first 2-3 years because I was deployed, I was on missions, and the Army had me separated, and I was never married while I was in the Army to bring her with me to certain places. And I couldn't have took her to my deployment, but I could have took her to some other spots, but legally we were just never married.
Yeah, no, I get that, and honestly, I think me having kids was the reason why I separated from the military. How do I say, like,
that's why I separated. Other than the politics, because there was a lot of politics in the Army, and the politics kind of made me mad. But really, it's because I felt like I have already spent so much time away from everyone, from my family, dad, mom. Well, not my mom. I don't have one. My dad and my grandfather, but being away from them and my kids is just like, bro, I'm tired of leaving.
Oh yeah.
Randomly.
Oh yeah. So one thing I would say is man, sometimes the job is not worth it.
Really,
right?
It's especially
it's
not worth the pay.
It's definitely not. So you don't know what it's like yet to be a father, but when you do, you'll find out. And I hope your career flourishes in whatever it is that you do, because I've had my time. Now it's yours, right? It's your time to lead soldiers. It's your time to show them how to actually be a service member, but to the highest standard.
Yes.
But at the same time too, whenever it does get to the point to when you're ready, to settle down, to have a family, and even to separate, you'll know, right? And the one thing about it is I will always choose to be a dad over choose to be a soldier, not being able to be a father, right? But like I said, my experiences were kind of different, so I chose to get out so I can be present. I didn't want to be a absentee father. That was one of the things that I did not want to do, only because I've had that growing up. And then another reason why I did get out is because in the military, depending on what you do, it's some people might say it's brainwashed. Some people might just be like they're disciplining you, or they're transitioning you into or molding you into somebody new.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, what is it? It's mission first, right?
Right. Always.
I was trained to do destruction. Same thing like you were trained to be violent. But what type of lifestyle is that to raise a kid in, right?
It isn't.
Especially whenever they soak all the information up. They see you do one thing, then they're gonna do it the next time. So I would definitely say that's probably the biggest reason why I chose to get out, is because I didn't want to live that violent type of lifestyle anymore. Even though I was doing what it was that I was doing for the office now for the dental tech, it was still mission first, right?
Right.
It was my second MOS. So if I ever needed to go back to my primary one, guess what? Hey, they need you over here. You got to go back. So it was just one of those things that's like, man, like I'm ready to be a dad. I'm ready to show somebody how to live.
Dude, I love that. I feel like I had kids at a very young age, so I never really got to feel like I was a full-time soldier, even though I was, because I was always an absent dad. And I always saw it as, it's okay, it's in their early years, so it doesn't matter.
They won't remember, yeah.
Which is a really wrong way to think, because they do remember, right? They're gonna, like, they knew me when I got around, but they weren't, like, super loving to me. They didn't want to be around me so much because they were, like, unfamiliar with me.
Right.
And now they love me and they know me to the T because I'm out. But one thing I want to tell you, Dean, is you don't have kids and you don't have a wife, which is amazing, bro. As long as you can go without it, without ever feeling like you need to be there, bro, take as long as you need, because there's really no rush. I had kids at a very young age, not because I wanted them, but it's just cards I was dealt, because that's what I did, and I fucked up. I don't want to say I fucked up, but
I mean, it's still a blessing at the end of the day.
it's a blessing.
for
My kids are a
for
blessing,
sure.
and I love them, but they made me grow up faster than what I needed to be.
Right.
Which, like I said, may not be a bad thing. But boys, I think our hour is up. How long have we been on this podcast?
2 hours.
Oh man, we could talk all day. I told you this is what I do.
Yeah, well, I think we could have just been like a straight 4 hours.
Oh, for real.
When I saw Q come back in with the food and the sun, I was like, dude, we've been here for a minute. Do you normally do an exit or like an outro?
Yeah,
Can you give me an example?
I got you. I appreciate you guys for tuning in. Like I said, it's the first podcast of many. And show us some love, share it to a friend or family member that you feel can gain benefit or value from this podcast. Love y'all so much. I'll see y'all on the next one.
All right, cool, guys. So this is going to be our first episode. It's going to come to an end. I actually want to give a special thanks to Dean for coming, my boy Rome Halls for coming. Y'all give him a like and share on Instagram as well. Like and share this. Guys, please watch this whole episode. I guarantee you're not going to want to miss this. I appreciate y'all, and y'all stay tuned to the next GQ's discussions.
Boom.
Heck yeah,
that hour is
heck
going
yeah.
by
Went by
quick,
fast.